Hi, everybody. Ivor Chester here, your balance coach. Thanks again for your time. Today, we're going to be discussing briefly the concept of the end of the rope. I have been there many times, sometimes self-imposed, and other times just brought there. Nevertheless, the idea is that, of course, that it's not a place to thrive, but it is a great place to turn around. I would never recommend people to stay there, to park there, to live an existence there. Some people live there because they're adrenaline junkies and they just like that thrill of they're living hand to mouth. They're living at the end of their rope. They're living with the wrong people. They're living for the wrong inputs. Other people live there out of bad choices that they may not see as bad choices at all. But the reality is, living at the end of the rope gives you that moment where you can look down and realize you finally see you're going to have to make that change. Let me give you an example. Working in psych for many years, I often hear, and it's strange, it's moms. They're middle-aged moms or a little older in their 50s or 60s, and they talk about their sons mainly, but there's daughters that are often brought up, and they discuss how their sons have misspent their lives, how they're drinking, they're using drugs, they're being around the wrong people, and the sons, or their children in general, come up to them and ask them for a handout a lot. Now, there's reasons at times why parents can give a handout. I understand that. But they're not making a change. And the moms will confide to me and say, if I don't help him, he'll be on the street. And I'll say, yeah, okay, maybe not. Because as long as they think or they believe that mom is going to be there with the paycheck, with the handout, with the pocketbook, as long as they believe that there's a safety net there, they'll continue the old behaviors. Again, I used to work in a psych hospital that called itself a boutique hospital. They had nice paint on the walls. They had a customer service mentality where instead of a patient-minded service, so being customer service, it meant that the customer is always right. And when they did that, they were not seeing to the better needs of the patients. And the patients knew this. The patients knew that instead of having to change, instead of really getting to the end of their rope, what they were just allowed to do was to play the system and then thereby do the numbers, the requirement to manipulate the milieu, as it's called, and then get discharged and go about their merry way. They've never been to the end of the rope. A lot of us deeply fear the end of the rope, and rightly so. It has terrified me for many years. However, having been there, I realize that the end of the rope is not, though, the place to live and exist. It is an excellent place to change. It is an excellent place to realize your assets of what you really have in life, your friends, that you still have food, that you still have relations, you still have opportunities, you still have potential, that these things do exist. So really, you're not exactly at the end of your rope. You just have set this boundary, for right or wrong, that says, this is all I got. One other story, and then I'll be done. I had a young man who contacted me. He was a client who had an acrimonious relationship with his father, and he would continually be threatened with being homeless. His father would say, I'm going to kick you out. Well, finally his father did, because the boy kept making bad choices. Well, the guy contacted me and was totally blinded by his view of the end of the rope. He thought that the end of the rope was just not sleeping in his bed, not sleeping in his room, not sleeping in his parents' house, and this kid was in his mid-20s, and not things not fitting to how he believed that they fit. In reality, he still had a job. He wasn't tapping into leaning on friends during this time, and of course, most importantly, he wasn't tapping into understanding his potential, to how he could change himself to keep himself from getting in situations like this. And he would whine, and he would complain, and he would text me and email me and do all these things about, oh, it's so horrific. And yeah, living on the streets is. Been there. Nevertheless, I was thankful when the rain fell, because I drank water, and it was clear water. I was thankful when I made it to a shelter. I was thankful when I made it back home. I was thankful when I found my family still loved me. I was thankful that there were still friends out there. And I found the end of the rope was really just an illusion. I learned to change. I learned to make other choices. Yeah, there's some story about throwing a life preserver, Christina says, when they need to learn to swim. Yeah, they do. Some people say you just got to throw people in the pool. I understand that it can be a dangerous concept, but yeah, it has a twinge of reality that some people just really need that smack across the face in a loving way. Because remember, tough love is still love. So, in conclusion, what I'm really asking you to understand is that the end of the rope probably is an illusion. And what you view, because you're so focused on the negative and the worst case scenarios, you're not really seeing the great potential that is there. There's the knot at the end of the rope, and it's not probably tied around your neck. It's there for you to hold on to, and you can shimmy back up. You can make other choices, or, quite frankly, the floor may not be that far down. Whatever it is, start working on your perspective, and we're going to talk more about this. Understand, to help you, for those of you who live in North Texas, we're having a live workshop happening every Monday at 7 o'clock here in Irving at Dayspring Counseling. It starts at 7 o'clock and goes until 8:30. It's $25. What you get is the book. You get the hour-and-a-half session, and you get all workshop materials. And then I'll throw in a one-on-one session for you and I to have time to help sharpen your focus and help you understand the kind of perspectives you have. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can contact me at ivorchester.com. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at HadEnoughGuy, and of course leave comments here. Other than that, thank you very much. Please share this. Get the word out. I very much appreciate it. Until then, God bless. Be well. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing this again. I've been off schedule the past couple of weeks just because of some family issues that we've been going through. Most of you know that we had a death in the family and such, but we're picking things back up and we are moving forward. Thank you very much for your prayers and thoughts. We keep you in ours as well. We'll see you later. Goodbye.